Now we have a choice of class to play. And this is pretty self-explanatory. If you've ever played an RPG, you know what these are. I don't have to explain these to you, but real quick, I'll give you a rundown. You've got barbarians. They're tough to kill. They hit things hard. They like to get pissed off. That's about it. Okay, bards. They're bards. They play music. They're good with lore and knowing many things. They're kind of the jack-of-all-trades class. Hey, thank you for the delicious member chip and welcome in Moonspots. Bards are your theater kid class. So if you're a theater kid, you're probably going to play a bard. If you couldn't decide on your class, you're probably going to play a barbarian. Cleric is your religious, for people who have Catholic trauma. Cleric is your super religious class. It's actually one of the most high variety classes in the game. At level 1, they get to pick their deity, which changes the way they play pretty exponentially. Clerics are pretty cool. I've never played one because I struggle with the hyper-religious roleplay, but it's kind of fun, kind of interesting. Druid is your cleric, but instead of, like, you know, bowing down and kissing, you know, D&D Jesus's feet, you kiss trees. Cool? Druids are tree huggers. It's that easy. For anybody who read Warrior Cats growing up, you're probably a druid. You probably want to turn into a big panther. They turn into animals, they summon animals, they make out with plants. Druids are great, I guess. I'll explain more about druids a little later. Fantasy hippies, there you go. Fighters, they are your fighters. Yeah? Fighters are what they say on the 10. They like to fight. They can be just about anything as long as it's not magic. Fighters can be like super sneaky and wear light armor. They can fight from a huge range and be really good with a bow. They can use crossbows, any weapon in the game. They can be big two-handed weapon fighters. They can be dual wielding, like super agile fighters. They could be like big armor, light armor, no armor. They are really good with just about any physical gear. They're very easy to play, very fun. Technically, you can be a subclass of fighter that uses magic, but I'm talking about base level classes here. Suzuri, thank you. Baldur's Gate 3 taught me that people make out with bears. They do that too. You're right, Samuel. Thank you for the delicious soup. All right, cool. We're past fighter. Monks. If you never got past the, what is it, wuxia genre? Like the super floaty, like I jump 50 feet in the air and do a whirlwind kick. That's a monk. Wu Zing, sorry. Zhanja. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, it's martial arts movies. Cool? Like, they do, like, the whole I can run in the air a little bit and, like, super martial arts movie attacks. Does that make sense? Oh, so I was right the first time I said it. Okay, cool. No, we're not going to ban monks. Monks are fine. They're a little underpowered in the regular D&D handbook, but they're still fun. They're interesting. The only issue I have with monks is that they are so intrinsically tied to a culture that it can make it hard to blend them into multiple cultures, and that could be a problem the same way like clerics can sometimes be a problem blending in, but you can kind of make it work out. You can figure it out. Yeah, they have kind of a vaguely Shaolin vibe to them. But anyway, that's okay. After monk, you got paladin. They're fighters, and clerics had a baby. So, like, if you have Catholic guilt, but you also join the military, you're probably a paladin, right? So, like, they're fighters, but they smite you with the power of God. They're the guys who run around screaming Deus Vult all day. Yeah, that's it. They're clerics, but instead of healing a lot, they like to hit a lot. That's about it. They are, in fact, crusaders, but not rusaders, technically. Paladins are largely considered one of the most boring classes or unfun classes to have in your party because most people play paladins. They've got a really bad stigma for being, like, sticklers for morality and making it unfun to play with them in your party. But if you roleplay a paladin well, they can be really, really interesting and really fun party members to have. And they don't always have to be super goody two-shoes. You can work around on them. It depends. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. What else do we got? Rangers. They're non-committal warrior cats. They're the kids who didn't, like, want to get down on all fours and play warrior cats, but they did watch the druid kids who did get down on all fours and play warrior cats from a distance and think, damn, I wish I had the balls to do that. Rangers are good with bows. They usually have animal pets. They do just a little bit of magic. They could sometimes be good in melee, but not really. They're kind of trying to do too many things at once. They are simultaneously like Aragorn and the pet class and magic users and fighters and range fighters and environmentalists and survivalists, and it all doesn't really blend together super well, but they tried their best. I think they're really, really, really flavorful, but poorly balanced, at least in the base handbook. They fixed it later. Shout out to all the... Whoa, hold on, wait a minute there. Thank you for the delicious soup, Foster. Goblin Barbarian's a ton of fun. Being a 3-foot-tall ball of rage going toe-to-toe with a dragon is peak entertainment. Thank you, Rhea Gracewood, for the congrats on the 50K and the delicious soup. Ooh, thank you, Diana, for the 5... whoa, hold on. For the 5 gifted memberships. I almost said crimzupas. Wild. What else was I going to say? Oh, rogues. Rogues are for everybody whose backstory is... My parents were killed by bandits. My name's Ebony Ravenway Darkness Dementia. I've got a darkness inside of me. There's 2 wolves, and both of them shop at Hot Topic. So that's rogues. If you're that, then you're a rogue. Okay, cool. They're the sneaky class. That's about it. Next is sorcerer. Sorcerers are wizards who didn't want to go to college. Sorcerers are your weird uncle who for some reason figured out a few magic tricks with cards and seems to be immune to bad luck, but doesn't actually know what the fuck he's talking about. Sorcerers are the trust fund babies of magic, where wizards are all like very learned and like gained their skills through study and careful like practice of magic. Sorcerers were just gifted with magic at birth, and instead of using intelligence, use raw charisma to wield their magic. Basically, they're the rich boys of the magical world. That's true. Or Orendogo. Good point. Orendago. Doggo? You know what? You understand what I'm saying. Thank you for the soup. Yeah, my dad works at the magic store, and he says I'm allowed to do magic. D&D does give them bloodlines, actually. You can do a draconic bloodline or a demon bloodline. I believe there's a fae bloodline. And then later they added more and extra expansions like shadow bloodline, stuff like that. Yes, I do think Gerard would be a sorcerer. Spoiler alert, that's probably what we're going to do for Gerard. But we'll see. Next is Warlock. If sorcerers were born into magic, Warlocks are the seedy, like, back alley people who did a quick drug deal for magic, right? Like, they go to their magic dealer, show up, throw them a quick 50, you know, and say, hey, can I buy a little bit of magic spells? And whoever's dealing them the magic says, yup, sure, here you go, bud. They just drop them a little gram. They're like, here's a gram of magic. Don't spit it all in one place. All right? You come back. Remember who's your sugar daddy for magic, all right? And that's it. That's how warlocks work. They weren't born into it, but they do make deals into it, right? So, like, if a sorcerer is born using magic, a warlock usually finds a demon or a dragon or a god or something significantly powerful and says, hey, I'll sell my soul to you or whatever. I'll give you my firstborn, but you give me magic. And they say, okay. And then warlocks are locked in with that entity until their deal is done. That makes sense? Great. Last is wizards. Wizards are what they say on the hat. They're fucking wizards, dude. They study magic, they use magic. They're the classic old dude who's been in a college for 50 years and never touched grass once in their life, but they know how to summon grass. Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells. Okay, so now we know all the classes, right?